Driving through the gates of Sednaya prison was the journey no Syrian wanted to take. Many didn't come out alive. Now the prison has been broken open, like the country. And on Sednaya's forbidding hill outside Damascus, there are signs in the prison yard of how far Syria has come in just a week. Volunteers are here to try to preserve Sednaya's records. It looks as if someone tried to destroy what was done here. When dictators and their henchmen fall, making sure they don't take the truth with them is a big part of a better future. It's slow work.
Runaway? Yeah, a runaway guard.
In Sednaya's cell corridors, you can see how hard it will be to mend the country Assad broke. Families come here searching for those they've lost. It is estimated more than 100,000 people disappeared since 2011 after being detained by the old regime. The volunteers found that the truth was even worse than they'd feared, in cells that still stink of misery.
It is terrible, terrible. There are bags of urine on the floor. They couldn't go to the toilet, so they had to put urine in bags. The smell, there is no sun or light. I can't believe people were living like this when we were breathing normally and living our normal lives.
The rubble is left from attempts to find hidden cells. Sednaya's basements were the dark heart of the Assad regime. It used the fear of this place to coerce and repress the people. Just punishing the torturers who lurked here and healing their victims is a huge undertaking on its own. This prison is full of horrible little details of the way that people were mistreated. This area is full of blankets, bits of clothing, uniforms. I'd say there's a strong possibility that they kept dozens of men cooped up in here like sardines in absolutely brutal, bestial conditions. Every Syrian I've met has said that the future has to be built on justice for the past. These men in the prison yard called Sednaya a mass grave and wanted Bashar al-Assad to be decapitated. Ahmad, searching for the brother he said lives on in his dreams, did 3 years in Sednaya. It was so bad, the torture, the food, everything. We were suffering.
We are many. People from Al-Qamishli, Hasakka, Dir al-Zur, Al-Raqqa, or looking for their loved ones. Thousands are still in the streets, looking for their children. It's not just me.
Another huge challenge, reconstruction. Who will pay? The economy was destroyed by the war and sucked dry by the corruption of the Assads. This is Jobar, close to Damascus city center. We drove through the ruins to see Hassan Abu Shwab, back with his family after 11 years in jail, sentenced to death for terrorism, the regime's word for rebellion, which he denies. The neighbors were firing into the air to celebrate the return of sons from the war. What do you think should happen to the sort of guys who tortured prisoners like you?
They should be punished. We are human souls after all, not stones. And the killers must be publicly executed. Otherwise, we won't get through this. Some of them tortured human beings to death. I saw a 49-year-old man in my cell die. They tortured him for 3 days, then wrote in the report that he had a stroke.
But you've been through a terrible experience, so has the whole country. How do you get over it and build a better place?
We need to forget to move on. This is a happy time for all Syrians. We need to get back to work. We turned the page. All the sadness is behind us.
Forgetting the Assads, not easy when they've left 90% of Syrians in poverty. These men came to Sednaya from Aleppo to find their brothers. Now they're camping in the prison. Nowhere else to go, and no escape from a hard future and a past full of pain. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News, Damascus.